Hello, everyone. I'm Zabi Barnes, Seashell mystic, Seashell yogi, Seashell shaman, and Seashell alchemy teacher. And today we're going to talk about the psychedelic properties of seashell spirals without having to ingest anything or smoke anything. Yesterday, I was watching Netflix. I watched the first episode of Gwyneth Paltrow's new show about her Goop network. And in it, they were talking about psychedelic mushrooms, and they were showing people who had gone down to Brazil and had a healing experience with the psychedelic mushrooms. And right now I'm hearing a lot of people talking about psychedelics and a lot of people getting involved with them or wanting to get involved with them, wanting to travel somewhere and do these psychedelic journeys. So I want to share with you an experience that I had back in 1997. And it was a psychedelic experience, even though I have never, ever taken LSD or done any kind of psychedelic drug. But in 1997, I was in a desperate place in my life, and I was praying with a plastic glow-in-the-dark rosary that had been blessed in Medjugorje. And I was saying the Hail Mary, which I knew from when I taught Catholic school, even though I'm not Catholic. And the next thing I knew, I was seeing these beautiful, mesmerizing, glowing shapes, three-dimensional, symmetrical shapes that were spinning in front of me, each emitting a musical tone. What I was seeing was sacred geometry, but I didn't know that word back then. The next thing I knew, I was flying through space at warp speed like a scene from Star Trek, with planets and stars and solar systems and galaxies flying past me. And I was being spiraled through these golden spirals of light, spiraling in, spiraling out, sometimes wide sweeping spirals, sometimes sharp pointy spirals, going clockwise and counterclockwise at the same time, as it felt like I was being pulled through the outer reaches of the cosmos, and at the same time being pulled into the deepest recesses of subatomic space. It seemed like 20 minutes went by, and when I woke up, it was 3 full days later. And for 3 days, I was immersed in these golden spirals of light with all of the knowledge of the universe flooding through me in all different languages. And when I woke up, I was healed. I was healed of 3 major things that I had been struggling with in my life: depression, fibromyalgia, and the addiction to cutting, which was my way of releasing steam or stress. Not a good way, but it was what I used to do to let the pressure off. And it was an addiction. So I got healed from that 3-day spontaneous experience. That psychedelic experience healed me. So several years ago, I was looking for something to watch on Netflix, and I found a documentary called DMT, the Spirit Molecule. And I honestly didn't know what DMT was, but I was interested in the spirit molecule part of it, and I thought it was going to be some show about quantum physics. And instead, it was a show about psychedelics. And what was really interesting to me was that the imagery that they showed, as they were depicting with animation, they were depicting what people had experienced while working with psychedelics. It looked like what I had seen during those 3 days, during that 3-day experience when I was spiraling in and out of these golden spirals of light. What they described and what they showed in that video, I was excited because I was like, wow, somebody else has seen what I saw. somebody else knows what is behind the veil, because that's what I saw during those 3 days, was what is behind the veil. During those 3 days, I spiraled deep into the heart of God, where all can heal. And I was flooded with light and with love and with grace. And it's so beautiful because this is available to us. And we don't have to ingest anything. And we don't have to run the risk of tearing holes in the aura, which is what some shamans say happens when we're ingesting these substances. We don't have to worry about that with the seashell spirals. And we don't have to get dizzy. We don't have to get sick. We don't have to throw up from it. And we don't have to get lost somewhere on the astral plane where we could have a bad trip, because the seashell spirals only bring through beautiful, loving experiences. This is where the seashell spirals can take us. And every time I go deeper into working with a particular seashell spiral, which is a particular vibrational frequency, it takes me back into those blissful golden spirals of light and the beautiful sacred geometries. And there's this thing that happens, I call it chakra orgasms. The spirals can stretch our chakras open so quickly, so open, and bring so much light through all at one time that there's like a fluttering that happens through the whole body, and the bliss that goes along with it, it almost is too good. It almost feels too good. It brings you right on the edge of, oh my God, could it ever get any better than this? And then it does. So there's an awakening that happens when we learn how to dive deeper and deeper into the vibrational frequencies of the seashells. And this, we're talking about frequency. So this is what I teach in my more advanced trainings, and also even in my private sessions. This is what I'm teaching people, how to tap into the spirals at that level so that this can happen. So I want to invite you all to start asking the seashell spirals to begin waking you up, and ask them to start opening you up to the higher realms of consciousness, these blissful, beautiful realms of healing. And ask to be shown how they can stretch you without you having to be dependent on any kind of substance. Because the spirals are within you. The spirals run through all of us. They're in us, and they're run through us, and they are all around us. They're here always. And as we learn how to open up more and more to them, we can harness their full power and remain center and aware in the process. We can microdose them a little bit at a time in a way that is legal, and in a way where we do not alter ourselves so much that we cannot function safely in the world. We're able to remain fully present and able to share our energies in meaningful ways with those around us. I think the best way to microdose the seashells is to work with the new mini cards that I have created. The mini cards capture the full energies of the spiral shells, and they're the size of a business card, so you can actually wear them in a little medicine bag and carry those particular energies that you're wanting to expand into. You can carry those energies with you throughout the day and sleep with them at night. And as you pause and tune into them, you will get an automatic pick-me-up, an automatic energy boost, an automatic energy expansion, and a glimpse behind the veil of your normal everyday perception. So I want to thank you for taking this time to spiral up to new possibilities for expanding consciousness. It's always about spiraling up, and there are many great ways to spiral up. Working with seashell spirals is my favorite way.